It's Wednesday, the 25th of May, just a month away from the longest day of the year, and it feels that way, doesn't it, boys? Given that it's raining, it's blustery, there's bits of sunshine, there's bits of everything, except a lot of good warm weather. Dahi's with us again today, and Eamon McFadden, Declan, is off this week. He's in probably in Germany, I think, playing golf or something. Dahi, talk to us about the Man United season. Disaster again.
Yeah, big disaster.
Will Ten Hag make a big difference?
Hopefully, he says
10-0.
He says he wants to clear ship at United, bring in a good few people and let out a few. He says he wants to bring in about 10 or 11 new signings to rebuild the squad.
Right. And does that look like achievable in one season?
Depends how much money the owners give him. Like they said, around 110 to 120 million he wants to spend on 10 or 11 players.
But he's not going to get 10 or 11 players for that amount, is he?
I think he wants to bring in young players, like not big names.
But have there not enough young players that are never going to be big names? We saw them on Sunday. They were quite disasters, weren't they?
Lost hammered again Sunday. What did you think of? Do you think will they be back in contention next season?
Nah, I think Man City and Liverpool are too strong at the minute for everyone in England. They're easily up there as the best two teams in the world. I don't think anyone's going to come near them for the next few years. Like,
probably not, but like, it has to be more than a two-horse race. To hear claims that it's the most exciting and the biggest football
league in the world.
Yeah. It's hardly that, is it? I mean, the two top teams are world class, I suppose, but behind that, nobody else is going anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, given that Man United are now down in sixth place this season, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're effectively out of any major European competitions. But I mean, is he the right manager?
I think he is, because he's.
What's his background?
So he is 52 years old. He is Dutch, and he's the former Ajax manager. But he first burst onto the scene, and he won his first trophy with the Bayern second team in 2013-14 season. But his most famous run has been with Ajax, where he has won 3 Dutch league titles, 2 Dutch cups, and 1 Dutch Super League in about 8 or 9 years.
Is Man United reaching a pitch now where they're just going to become Ulster Rams for the next 5 years? And they'll fade out of the Premier League and they'll be relegated? Can you see that?
The relegation might be a bit far.
Why not?
Look at Everton, they've nearly tumbled out of the league. And
they came very, very close to it.
Yeah.
If Ronaldo leaves next season, it won't be too good.
Is Ronaldo kind of over?
Did you agree with the decision by the Match of the Day panel to select Mo Salah for the goal of the season? Was it not a super goal?
Yeah, it was a good goal.
Was it the best one, do you think, out of the 10?
Probably.
Would you have picked it?
Yeah.
Even though you don't like Liverpool?
Yeah, Salah's a quality player as well.
I mean, how can you not like Liverpool and love soccer? They're the most exciting team. They have a great manager. He's great crack. He's great fun.
He's alright.
Would you see yourself switching over to support them?
No way.
For the Champions League final alone?
No. Real Madrid all the way on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
So well, at least you're loyal, if nothing else.
Anyway, listen, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the housing crisis, given that I had the Independent there a little while ago. Numbers of objections from schools about extensive house building. It's unusual to get a government department objecting to planning permission. But this is no ordinary situation in the country at the moment, given that there's such a huge crisis. They can't even get buildings for schools. Prices have rocketed through the roof. But how appropriate is it that schools should be objecting to housing developments? Okay, we don't have schools to occupy the children that are going to be there in the years ahead, but I've never heard of this one before, Eamon.
What grounds was that?
Just because they can't get sites themselves to build houses on.
So the schools are it's.
I had the Irish Independent there with the story, so it has vanished.
Oh no.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
That's the basis for their rejections.
That's the basis for
It's quite ironic, isn't it?
Overcrowding. One is in Cork and one's in South Dublin. But we're going to get deeper and deeper into the housing crisis because there is no solutions coming forward, and plus costs are gone through the roof. Materials can't be got, manpower can't be got.
Labour shortage.
I suppose in a different way, that's the end of your school year fairly soon, is it, Dahi?
Yeah. I finish properly on Monday, but then I've got exams for 3 days, and then we're off. Like, we don't have to come in the Friday.
Second year exams.
Tough, so they are.
Tough exams, tough. Hope you're sweating hard.
Yeah.
So then you'll be doing your junior cert next year?
Yeah.
So it'll be a bigger year for you?
Yeah, a lot of study needs
Does
to
that
be
put a
done.
lot of pressure on the students, does it?
But Aaron, you're not doing a lot of studying at the moment,
No, I am.
and do you expect to get through your exams, no bother?
Yeah, probably just.
Probably.
Yeah.
So you have a big long break.
Call 3
until what,
months.
the end of August.
September, beginning of September, yeah.
Yeah.
Will you
So
be-
what are you, the whole summer stretching out in front of you now, what are you going to be doing? Is it going to be football?
Hopefully working here. And football.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Need to speak to your
Uh,
the board of directors, I
at
suppose.
what level of expertise are you coming in here at?
I don't know, just
Yeah, you have a good bit of experience here already.
Yeah.
What age you know?
14, nearly
14.
15.
I'm just on the top of that, I'm looking at the hospitality sector here, and a whole lot of pubs, clubs, restaurants only opening 4 to 5 days a week because they can't get staff. Even though I was told last night that bar staff are being offered as much as $18.50 per hour, but they can't get them.
Wow. Good wage for a bar job, isn't it?
Would you work in a bar?
Maybe if I'm in college, like, and want
Yeah,
some extra
yeah.
money.
You're too young, are you?
Too young now, yeah.
You could be a waiter or something.
Yeah, a waiter in a restaurant. Could be.
Would you like working in a bar?
I'd
Would
probably
it appeal to you? No?
probably rather work in a restaurant.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're looking at a whole lot of other things here that have made notes about. We're looking at budget cuts coming up in October in education, third level, childcare, transport, health. It's going to be a tough budget because inflation could be in excess of 10%, could be up as high as 12%. Plus, there's probably going to be rationing of fuels and foodstuffs. It's looking very like that from the national media and from the commentary across Europe at the minute. Things are very, very grim. So we could see job cuts in the public service. Obviously, that is where they always start, particularly in the health service, because they have a history. Governments of the past have a history when cuts are needed, they reach for the health service as if they have too many staff. And yet we have had some of the scientific staff across the country fighting a case for 22 years and still no resolution to it, and they've agreed to go to the Work Relations Commission next week to try and find a solution, but no great guarantees of anything happening there. We did mention that the new Man United manager, so you're going to see a whole clean out at United,
Yeah.
a whole lot of new faces.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Will Ronaldo be gone? Is he gone?
I don't know. I haven't heard much about it. I hope he stays anyway, because without Ronaldo this season, we'd be a lot lower in the pecking order anyway.
I wonder, is that right? I mean, what did he do all season? Only just stand about, and the odd opportunistic goal that he got.
Well, he came third in the top goal scorers in the Premier League at 37 years of age, so you can't argue with that.
Yeah, many
Yeah,
years
but
left.
he was set up to get those goals. He was just built to score goals, but he's gone past that. You're forgetting all the ones that he missed, and all the times that he left the pitch in a real huff and didn't speak to anybody.
That's just his personality. You're never going to get. That's never going to leave Ronaldo.
That must carry across to the dressing room as well. Eamon, talk to us about Killihoe Beach and why it's in the news this week.
Killihoe Beach. Killihoe Beach down in Dunfani is back in the news because of a new barrier that's been erected on the road down from the main road past the golf course down to the main access route to the car park to Killihoe Beach. Recently had a new height restriction barrier put in place, and signage was erected nearby to say that as of the 1st of June through the 15th of September, Caution, there's a height restriction in place. No access to car park for vehicles over 2 metres. And the emergency service, in the event of an emergency, access required to contact the local Garda station, which was the number of the Dunfani Garda station there. The concerns around that being that Dunfani Garda station isn't a full-time station. I think possibly currently served by one officer, and also without a patrol car at the moment. So that issue has arisen. There's concerns about that, about it being in there.
Talk to us about the fact that this is official. This is the council. I mean, this week we were thinking, who has put up that sign there?
It wasn't overly clear at the start.
No, it wasn't. But it is now.
It is now, because we got a response from the council to say that the council have erected that. They've erected 3 of them across the county. One in Dunfani, one in Kinniger Beach in Rathmullen, and one in Shrove up in Ishone. Now, this is I suppose the conundrum of all this, or the lack of clarity. The sign clearly states that the thing is going to be closed for the summer months, but the council in their statement to us this morning are saying that Dunfani and Shrove are going to be, they're both going to be left open, but in the event that they wish to close them at some point, because of the high build-up of caravans and campervans that have been using it, they're concerned about that they're staying too long and taking up too much of the resources of the area, that they can close them if they want. So it's kind of at odds with what the sign said during the
And
meeting.
how are they going to arrive at the, or who's going to be supervising this?
That's the thing.
Who's going to make the decision? We have too many caravans down here this night, or too many campervans. Is there a good reason? I'm not going to say aye or no, but is there a good reason for putting them there in the first place? I know you're talking about the Kinniger and Shrove, but I mean, what real purpose does this serve if it's not going to be used?
Exactly.
You put in a barrier that can be locked because a key is available for it, I understand.
Yeah.
In the local Garda station.
There's no guidance as to what constitutes too many or any, or it lacks clarity. And I know recently that the council, they had a survey trying to find out more about the kind of needs and the wants of campers and campervan users in the county. So in some ways they have to be trying to encourage tourism in the area, and then other ways.
The funny thing about all
capacity.
that is that this was a matter of conflict in the council between councillors and the management way over 35 years ago. Campervans are hugely popular. They've grown in popularity because
lockdown in particular,
lockdown hugely, but also because the cost of taking a family holiday is beyond the reach of most people. Taking a week's holiday in Ireland, a campervan, you can rent one. They're probably not that expensive, but compared to having gone to a hotel or somewhere, that you can see a lot of the country in 10 days.
Yeah, it's a different style of holiday too.
It's also affordable.
Yeah.
You can do a barbecue every evening and feed the wains. And you can do all kinds of things like getting out and about and exploring. But I mean, we're not doing enough to promote campervans. We're not doing enough.
It's funny,
I've seen campervans around Fanet parked in laybys and lonely roads where you question their safety insofar as joyriders, because I've had experiences of seeing brand new Austrian campervans literally wrecked one night by a couple of joyriders who just was ramming them.
Yeah, it's kind of
throwing a couple out of bed. It's not advisable to camp on lonely mountain roads where you think there's going to be nobody else there.
Yeah, and that's what people are being maybe forced into now, because I know for most of these official caravan and camp parks, they're full capacity.
I can kind of get a sort of an appreciation of what the council is trying to do here, but again, it's kind of hard to comprehend the purpose of it. It's all far, far too vague, and it has obviously caused concerns in Dunfani because Killahoe would be a very popular beach, and restricting access there under any circumstances will be will not go down well amongst the population.
It'll move the problem somewhere else.
Of course,
it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop people coming in their campervans. Dunfani's a tourism hotspot. Shrove, Rathmullen, all those places, and there's plenty more spots around that the people will pull up, as you say, maybe slightly more precariously. But I think overall they need to take a good hard look at the culture of what way this is going to go. In Scotland, you're entitled to park. You're entitled to park and camp anywhere in Scotland.
Why? Yeah.
So, and in places like France and that are much more amenable to again, respecting property and all that, but it's a much more suitable environment for it, and I think they're going to have to start looking at that for
It's
real.
an interesting one now. Michael McClaffery's been having a look at that, and he has expressed concerns. But anyway, we'll follow that one, and we're going to move from Campervans and Killahoe Beach to a very luxurious house in Rathmullen, Dahi.
Yeah.
How would you like to live in that house?
There's a good photo here in the paper.
Isn't it amazing?
You'll need to buy the paper to see it though.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in black and white on the actual page. It's in colour.
Well, it'll put the price up. She'll be gone in a week.
Due to extensive cuts in the Tribune, we're trying to save 10 cents an hour here. So we're printing out the copies in black and white, so presume that's in colour. So it's a glorious picture. Tell us a wee bit about that house. It's there quite a while, 20, 30 years maybe.
Savills are marketing a house on the Rathmullen Rathmullen Road. It's probably very local to you viewers, and it is to us, of course. The house occupies an elevated private setting in mature parkland with its outstanding waterfront situation.
It's just a big luxury house.
Tell us, what's the price tag on it there?
It's being listed for €2,750,000, but
Oh boy.
it'd probably exceed that price tag.
Probably
It'll
will.
exceed that.
It
Get
probably
over
will
3
exceed
million.
that.
Could be.
Properties of that nature are few and far between. They're for a very exclusive market, for money doesn't really matter, and I can see that house well exceeding that price.
Yeah.
But what happens when a naked farmer opens the bedroom door to a postman? We have a contributor, a Rathmullen woman in exile, and she's writing about this whole handling that goes on around the family home. Luckily our post comes early, and Simon, he's the postman, he wheeled in at 7:30 or 7:20 to be greeted by an ashen-faced, sweat-drenched cripple begging for his help. She had got a wallop out in the farmyard after she had earlier injured her leg when walking Nakala. I asked him if he wouldn't mind going upstairs and waking himself. This is the man that she's probably refers to. Is she married to him? Is she not? I don't know. But anyway, she asked the postman to wake himself to bring her to E&E. Simon the postman, he had practically battered a hole in the door, trying to rouse the sleeping beauty, when the aforementioned almost fell out through the door in joyful anticipation of a morning call from me. Lovely piece, beautifully written, and by Kate
Good writer, isn't she? Yeah.
Oh, she's a brilliant writer. She lives in a farmyard, is into farming big time, and she worked at a vaccination centre as well throughout the last while. And we have a lovely appreciation here to the late Brian Gibson, a well-known consultant at Letterkenny University Hospital, who passed away quite recently. And there's a picture of him and Roy Greenslade sitting on the wall across from the Bridge Bar in Rathmullen, enjoying a pint. And I suppose there would be two people of totally different personalities and all that kind of thing. And Brian had a very mischievous nature. He lived out at Clara in the home of former James Watt of the whisky firm, and he was a gynaecologist all his life since he qualified in Letterkenny, and a well-known figure. So that's a nice piece there by Roy Greenslade, the former editor of the Mirror.
Yeah.
Who lives out in that area now. We're up to 18 minutes, boys. The cardiac cath lab, we're covering that again today, and we're also going to look at Smokey,
Chris Norman,
frontman from Smokey from 50 years ago.
You're wondering who Smokey, who the heck are Smokey? It's been announced that the legendary rock band from the 70s, soft rock I suppose you would call it, Smokey, living next door to Alice,
living next door
Needles
to
and
Alice.
Pins.
Who in the name of sweet Jesus is Alice?
That's it. But
you never heard this one, Dahi, did you?
No.
This is it.
It's almost an anthem at weddings. You're not really married and have a proper reception without having this song, and everybody lines up sort of racing around after each other.
Not legally married.
Like idiots. But that is Chris Norman, and he's starring at...
He's the original lead singer of Smokey, and he's coming to star in the Lennon Festival on Saturday the 9th of July, the headliner of that night. The Friday will have Derek Ryan, the Sunday will have Jimmy Buckley, But that's there. He's on the go a long time. Chris Norman still touring, tours a lot in Europe and all that, but he's been added to the festival now, so that'll be a lot of Smoky fans will be looking forward to that.
We have a nice picture of Celia Kerr Calhoun Letterkenny. That's Declan's mum on her 90th birthday, pictured with her daughter Rosemary and sons Declan, John and Michael. And we have a lead story, Rathmullen child denied life-changing cystic fibrosis drug. And this is the story of Tristan Friel, 5 years of age. He has CF, but he's one of that group of 35 in Ireland who's currently denied the use of it because it wasn't included in the original probably patenting of it for Ireland. It didn't include
that age bracket, and
didn't include their age bracket.
Yeah.
And it would seem that the company in America is seeking much more for this drug for this age group.
Yeah.
The story is told by his dad Noel Friel and the mother Anya, and she's a vet in Ballyshannon. It's one of those stories that just grabs you, because this is a cutting edge generation of cystic fibrosis drugs, and that anybody that has cystic fibrosis child will see that the huge amount of work is there.
Time is of the essence here.
Time is of the essence, preventing any damage to the lungs or the liver or anything like that there. But this continuous role of antibiotics, iron, salt tablets, daily physio, the environment has to be right. There's IVs, there can be hospitalisation, nebulizers, and avoiding social contact and sports as much as possible.
Should go a long way to help.
Just keeping your fingers crossed from one end of the week to the other. But that's the lead story. There's that and a whole lot more. Thanks, Di, for coming in and joining us again. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
And to you, Eamon.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Goodbye.
Thanks.